Right behind you. I am at your command. How can I serve you, my Thane? Lead on.
Oh, finally, a pickaxe. Huh. Oh wow, that's cool.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I'm streaming some Skyrim, but I'm not streaming the voice.
Okay.
Daddy Cyborg again.
Yeah. Good pups.
Nah, I tell you what. I like you, and I want you. We're gonna do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Okay, I see you choosing the hard way. Now, let me tell you, Chris Hansen, I like you and I want you, but you're choosing the hard way. So we're gonna have to go the hard way, Chris Hansen. Have you ever seen the Boondocks?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I've seen it before.
I love that show.
Oh yeah. I like the one with the motherfucking happy little trees painter guy.
A Date with the Booty Warrior.
Let's see.
You know what game I've missed I miss playing?
What's that?
It's The Lord of the Rings, the Third Age game. It was that RPG they made all. It was that RPG game they made all those years ago. A RPG Lord of the Rings game is what I'm saying.
Right.
Lord of the Rings, the Third Age.
Damn those Grey Manes to oblivion. They want to back the Stormcloaks, they'll get what's coming to them.
I'd be a lot warmer and a lot happier with a belly full of meat. Sometimes I miss the soldier's life, but when I hold my daughter in my arms, I know I made the right choice. You found it! I've been looking for that blade for months! You took on all those bandits yourself? Thank you. Here, my father had a favorite sword and shield technique. Let me teach it to you, in honor of his memory. Right then. Disrespecting no one, you disrespect me.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. If not, let me know. I might have it stored away. Everything's for sale, my friend. I'd even trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Huh.
I know you're listening.
Okay, my biggest question with Lord of the Rings. You know the octopus monster they fight at some point?
Yeah.
Why was it put there? Is there any relevance to why it was put there?
It was a sign that the dwarves were no longer patrolling the area.
So the dwarves would ward off the Watcher, basically, or something? Or how did that work? Okay, you gotta get in some good juicy detail about this, Uncle.
Okay, so they were heading towards the Elven City, right?
Okay. Well, I know the Lord of the Rings movies, right? I'm just wondering, like, why was it, actually there? Like you said, it was a sign that the dwarves weren't there anymore, but what was going on when the dwarves were around and when that thing was also around?
I don't think it was planted there. I think it's just one of the random monsters that appear in the Lord of the Rings series.
I'm not saying it was planted there. I'm just saying, like, I wonder how it showed up. Or I wonder when it showed up. Was it when the dwarves are still were around, or like I'm just wondering about this stuff.
Well, the dwarves had been gone for a really long time by that point, even though he didn't know about it. Last he had heard, See, he had been on adventures with all those people like Thor and the one that was in the grave. That was one of the ones from the Hobbit movie. And it was
Do come back.
I've got your back.
he was killed.
I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Uncle, you still there?
Sorry, I was doing inventory management. So the goblins had taken over the mountain, right? And the fucking they'd always warred with them because they were there originally in the mountain when the dwarves started.
Welcome to Bellathor's General Goods. Welcome
Like,
indeed.
okay, so the orcs were there originally, not
Yeah.
the dwarves.
No, well, the orcs were there, but the orcs were like an evil offshoot of the elves. So, according to the lore, right, the creator was gonna make wanted to make some humans. Well, one of his subordinates decided, I'll go ahead and try to make humans of my own. And another one also tried to go ahead and make humans of their own. He wound up with the race of elves and the race of dwarves. Well, they didn't like, or the creator didn't like it when the elves were made. So he corrupted some of them and created the race of orcs. Right. So, but also created the races of the goblins and the trolls and all that other stuff too, out of spite. Okay. But the orcs themselves are corrupted elves. Now the orcs in the movies aren't regular orcs. The ones you see in the mine, the little ones, those are orcs. The ones you see, they can't go out in daylight. The ones you see roaming around in the Lord of the Rings movies are called Uruk-hai. And Uruk-hai was a creation of
Uruk-hai. I know what those are.
Of Saruman and fucking Sauron.
Do come back. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
So the fucking the Misty Mountain was excavated. Well, there was a big orc tribe living there, and then the dwarves came in and went to war with them and started excavating the place and turned it into the great halls and a big old fucking underground kingdom. It only shows that like it takes a few days to pass in the movie, but in the book it takes like a couple of weeks.
Because the place is fucking massive.
Huge, absolutely huge, and also sometimes very maze-like.
So if you really wanted to go through the Great Hall, you would need a dwarven guide, is what you're saying. Back in the old Lord of the Rings days, when dwarves still, ruled Moria.
Or a Gandalf.
Or Gandalf.
But they came in numbers because evil had experienced a surge because the One Ring was found and things were getting into motion. The Dark Lord was getting ready to invade the world of men and actually did. But that was all in the movie. But yeah, the reason it happened was because Bilbo found the ring under the mountain, where it had sat for 300 years.
And if it were to stay like there for God knows how long, you think the land of what's the land of Lord of the Rings? I completely forgot.
Middle Earth.
Yeah, the land of Middle Earth would have been just kind of at peace if the ring wasn't found. That's what you're saying.
But it could never be because the ring wasn't lost. The ring was biding its time, waiting for the world to forget.
About the ring itself.
About the war, about the fucking, waiting for the world to forget. Waiting for the right time. The time when they could be sneaky, like nobody saw Saruman turning. Saruman was the leader of their order. It would be like finding out that the chief of police is actually the head guy for the fucking cartel you've been chasing down.
So, and my main question still goes back to this one thing. Where does the Watcher come into play?
The what now?
I'm just interested. The Watcher, the tentacle monster thing that this originally started as. I was wondering where he comes into play. When did he show up at some point? Was he just there at some point?
So there was a lake out in front, right? And they had faced lots of perils already. Trolls, fucking goblins, fucking spiders, bunch of shit. No, wait, spiders was the Hobbit. So it was just one of the monsters that grew there. The thing was, it would never have been allowed to get that big if the dwarves had still been living there.
Oh, so you're saying that basically the Watcher is a lack of pest control?
Basically.
The Watcher was basically just a squid monster.
Yeah, just a monster.
Unmonitored.
Just a random monster that got him.
And then people just call it the Watcher because it basically took the title of watching Moria now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay. So the Watcher is actually a monster that grew ridiculously big.
Yeah.
And just unknowingly became the Watcher because people like me assume that it was put there for a reason, and really it's just a monster.
No, it's just a monster, random monster.
But it's called the Watcher because that's what it's taken his role as now. It's watching Moria.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And then I learned some Lord of the Rings lore, which is also a plus.
I spend a lot of time at the market.
Now see, I love my dad and all, but whenever he talks about Lord of the Rings, he talks about the books, and he doesn't really go in-depth into the books. He talks about Tom Bombadil and nothing else, really. Like,
Tom motherfucking Bombadil.
I want to know more. I don't want to know just this one guy. I want to know more. And I know I could probably just do this shit by looking up YouTube.
Well, they're in the books. There are songs. Always lots of songs. People are singing. There's lots of songs going on. It has a kind of a whimsical feel to it in the books that doesn't translate well into the movies. In fact, you seen what happened when they tried to put one of the songs in the Hobbit movie. Everyone was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Which song was that? It was like
The one where they're fucking talking about cracking the plates and fucking.
no that I kind of like that.
Yeah, see, there was a lot of that going on. Well, a lot of people didn't. They said, "Oh, well, it kind of broke the immersion and all that."
It's like what? That's from the original books, and I didn't even read the original fucking books, and I liked it.
Oh yeah, you should, dude. It's a great read.
Yeah, see,
And the
now,
feeling
this
is so
why
much more epic, you know. It takes a lot longer to
when
get
reading the
through.
books.
You know what I mean? So when you get there, it feels like more of an accomplishment. Do you know what I mean?
See,
You feel
I
accomplished
need
just
to
having
take-
gone along with them.
Yeah, I need to read Lord of the Rings books. I feel like reading Lord of the Rings books might actually help with my storytelling.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that's what a lot of people take inspiration from when they make fantasy, is Lord of the
Oh yeah.
Rings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lord, yes. But Lord of the Rings, you know, they take inspiration from, like, you know, all the ancient old English tales and shit. But I
Yeah.
mean, the stories themselves are so freaking epic. You know what I mean? Like,
It's why whenever people made a Lord of the Rings game, it's always action based. When, in my opinion, these Lord of the Rings should have had an RPG, and it did, the Third Age. And I like that so much because I feel like Lord of the Rings would translate well into an RPG game.
yeah,
Because it feels like an RPG game with its story.
it does.
But
It does.
but most games, or most of the games that are under the Lord of the Rings title, are action games, and the only RPG games that are Lord of the Rings, most of them are actually kind of garbage, and the only good one is actually is like an early, like no, it was not early. It was like halfway through the PlayStation's, GameCube's, and Xbox life cycle. So, but I feel like Lord of the Rings would translate well into an RPG. Especially now. I understand that people may not be interested in Lord of the Rings anymore, because, you know. But I feel like if they just attempted to make a semi-original story in the Lord of the Rings universe, like they did with the Third Age, because as much as I like the Third Age, its story is kind of You're basically playing a group of people who are chasing the people who are going to destroy the ring. And literally, like their group of people kind of mirrors like the actual Fellowship of the Ring, except maybe like Wizard. There's like no wizard in there. There's like Bear Thor, like your sword dude. You got Idridil, your elf. Then you got what is it? Elagast, your dutiful bow, which is basically human. I'm forgetting because like he was my favorite character. He had the two swords and he was an elf with the bow.
I work with my mother.
Legolas.
Yeah, Legolas. Yeah, I love Legolas so much. It was the reason. It was the reason why I like double swords. But basically, you're a human archer. Hadhood, which is just a fucking. Oh my god. He's another dwarf. I mean, I guess every dwarf isn't the same, but he looks similar in terms of like the hairstyle and stuff.
Right.
Then you get two other characters that aren't even good in the game. Like you get Judith with a spear. You get a chick with two axes, which you think I'd love, right? But they made her into a thief. And I played it so many times, and trust me, she doesn't hit worth shit. It's like her accuracy is purposely reduced. Her focus is like being able to steal shit and like gain AP and stuff, and like do double attacks a lot because she has double axes. But she has such a low hit rate all the time for some reason that I don't understand how she misses all the time. And then the problem is, right, once you get your 4 main characters at the start, by the way, which I think is the problem, right, you'll basically never switch them out. Occasionally, you might switch them out, right? But the dude with the spear, it doesn't do enough damage, despite him having a lot of attacks that focus on doing multi-hits, but they just don't do as much damage. And then Hat Hood could be in the same case too if you don't like him. Like, you can literally just use, Bear Thor with the sword and shield, Elgast with his bow, and Idridil with her magic and crap, and you'd probably be good. That's all you could use. And that was the problem, was like the first 3 characters you get would basically be your 3 main characters if you play casually. Because why would you switch them out? Because that's what you get for most of your playthrough. I mean, you get 4 for most of your playthrough. Then you get 1 like 25% of the way through the game. Then you get 1 at the same point too. But by then, that's like, you're already using these 4 characters, and why would you switch them out? And by then, those other 2 characters, which I never understood, is that they have no fucking skills. They're like fresh characters, but they're like, also... They're also lower level for some fucking reason by the time you get them. So why would you use them in the first place? Yeah, it's such a disappointment. But the game is still fun regardless to play. It's a good Lord of the Rings game. It's a good RPG too. It's also one of the times where I see where the game lets you play as the bad guys, play as the wild encounter monsters. Evil mode. I love that. It's like my favorite part about that game too. Like you get items from it too. So like if you did evil mode, or after beating like a certain portion of like the game, you would unlock a certain area where you would play evil mode, play as the enemies, and kill the good guys. And then if you completed a set number of stages, or predetermined encounters they put in evil mode, you would get items that you would get in your base game that you could equip to your characters. So the idea was, you complete this portion of the area, okay, you unlock the portion of evil mode that you can also do. So like you get more items for like the next like big area. But most people who play this game don't even do that, because they're like, oh, evil mode, that's probably like something else. It's like, no, you do that to get more items. There's even a couple exclusive items in evil mode that characters can equip. Like you can get another shield for Bear Thor. Like but it's still cool. They don't. Basically, what I'm saying is they don't make games like they used to anymore.
No, they do not.
You can bet I'll do it. I never should have come here. All right then.
And now I actually want to read Lord of the Rings books.
I have them. Do you have them?
I think my dad does.
Nice.
I'm gonna ask him if he still has any of the Lord of the Rings books at home, so I could actually read them. Just so, like, not anymore. Just so, like, I can actually, like, see. Okay, this is what you do and don't in a fantasy RPG or something. It's like, no, I'm actually interested in reading them now. Like, I like the Lord of the Rings movies, and I honestly didn't know there were a series of books until the longest time. Because it never really bothered my dad to ask, hey, is there books for these movies?
Your grandma absolutely loved those books. They were her absolute favorite type of media.
I just love good storytelling. It's why I love Berserk, which is a pretty brutal manga, but it tells a good story about Guts and his personal journey. Yes, from the outside, he may seem like a bad guy or an anti-hero, right? Mm-hmm. Right. If you actually read the manga, he's a man that is basically like on his mental breaking point all the time, because in short, he was part of a band of mercenaries, and the mercenaries leader, Griffith, pulled some shady shit with this red orb he had on his necklace, and he basically sacrificed his entire mercenary group to become a god. And everyone in that mercenary group got branded with a sign. Basically, it's like moths to a flame, except that you are the flame and the moths are demons. And Guts was also included in that list. And Guts, being like pretty badass, manages to get out of there, not with losing an arm and an eye. So,
oh shit.
Yeah. And his love interest, Keska, gets raped by Griffith, and now she is emotionally broken to the point where she just blocked everything out of her mind. So she's like, nah, I'm out. And mentally, and now she's just a different person entirely. And now Guts wants to kill Griffith because he basically murdered everyone that Guts cared about to some degree. And you know what? There's people that say Griffith did nothing wrong. No, there's a point when sacrificing your entire mercenary group to become a god is where I drive the point of like, no, he did something wrong, and I was fucking killing a bunch of people. But in short, he's going through a personal journey to hunt down Griffith. And like he's basically a demon slayer, because demons are attracted to him, but he's killing them. I mean, and I'm shit at explaining stuff, so I'm making it sound pretty boring. But if you were to read the Berserk manga, it tells a pretty good story. Also, it's kind of fucked up too. There's a lot of fucked up things I'm not telling you about. Like
you know what you should read, Nick? Or you know what you should read, Jimmy? You should read The Stand.
What's that?
It's a book by Stephen King.
I see. That power.
It's so. In short, there's a secret government facility creating a bioweapon they call Project Blue. Project Blue gets out while they're working on it, and a guard that's there is supposed to, lock the place down, but instead he runs and grabs his wife and kid and heads east from California all the way to Texas, stopping here, stopping there to eat, to shit, to whatever, right? Project Blue, or they call it Captain Trips, is 99.9% contagious and 99.8% lethal.
Holy crapola.
Yeah. So people start getting sick and they start dying, and governments start breaking down, and fucking riots and chaos and all kinds of shit, and then the world dies, right?
So it's not just contagious towards humans?
0.02% of the population is left.
It's not just contagious for humans, is what I'm hearing from this.
They can't figure out why.
If you can pass the test, then yes.
But
no, I'm afraid I don't know anything of the sort. Excellent. Those invested in restoration
freaking
hands to be essential. Can you cast it on me? That will prove your skill. No? Well, if you think you're capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it to you for a mere 30 gold.
As you were saying?
Or you can try your luck with
so the people who are left, right, they start having these dreams.
Here you are.
Half of these people are having dreams about a little old black lady who lives out in Nebraska, in a little town called Hemingford Home. She tells him to come and see her. The other half start dreaming about the Dark Man, an evil person who promises them, you know, freaking whatever they want, sex, money, fun, freaking drugs, whatever. They just have to come out to him in Reno. Reno or Vegas? No, it's Vegas.
Oh, didn't they make a movie? Isn't there like a TV show about this?
There is, but they're fucking it up.
Okay.
There is, but they're fucking it up.
Okay.
It's a great story, and Lodi, California is in the story.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty damn neat.
And what relevance? You got to explain this. Now, just forget telling any other story. Tell me what importance Lodi, California has in this stance.
So there's after the first wave of where's books? Items, books. After the first wave of what the hell?
You know, Uncle, I could have bought Fallout 76 at some point.
After everyone dies, right? There's another wave of deaths, of people having heart attacks and freaking strokes and medical problems and shit. People, you know, break their leg, get an infection.
No. Well, if you feel capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it.
So there's this lady. She lives in Lodi, right? She's fucking paranoid. Always has been, right?
Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it.
And freaking this other guy is there. The two survivors from Lodi. And he just walks up to her and says, "Hi, lady. You know, oh my gosh, another living person." She points the gun at him and says, "Get off my fucking lawn, you fucking hippie." Some shit. Right? He's like, "Oh, come on, lady, don't shoot. Okay, I'll fucking do whatever." But she don't wait, and she shoots, and the gun backfires and blows her fucking hand and head off.
What?
And that's it for the Lodi part of the story.
Aw, man, that was it? There's a fucking paranoid-ass granny blowing her hand and head off? Lame. There's gotta be more. I'm gonna write a complaint about how there's a lack of Lodi, California in this story. Yeah, I'm joking. But it's nice that at least Lodi, California is mentioned in some degree.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool.
Okay,
I was like, hell yeah, right the fuck on.
It's like, hey, I live here. I was kind of born here too.
No matter what, the college will endure.
Oh, I would love to point out, Uncle, in Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, you actually fight the Balrog with Gandalf the Grey.
Right on.
It's so cool, because literally everyone else except Gandalf the Grey can actually put up a chance against the Balrog. And in evil mode, guess what? You play as the Balrog. It's so cool, because then you get to play as both, like, the Balrog and fight him, too. Because that was the coolest part about, like, what was it? It was, like, the Fellowship of the Ring movie, like, the first one, right? Where you literally go through Moria, right? I think I'm thinking, like, about the first Lord of the Rings movie.
The Fellowship of the Ring?
Yeah.
Where what happens?
Where you fight the Lord Gandalf faces off with the Balrog.
Yeah, that was at the end of the first one.
Yeah, I liked
They
that.
really
And
did
it was
justice
so...
to the Balrog, though. They really did. That's
that was
what it looks
that was
like in the books.
fucking menacing. That was fucking menacing. Like, what I liked about the Balrog in the movie was, like, it was described as being, like, just pure evil incarnate and stuff. And then it shows up, and it's something that you would think would be pure evil incarnate.
A demon of fire.
Literally a demon of fire, fucking literal black fog falling it everywhere.
The college is an asset to Skyrim.
And the name, too, is, like, it's simple. It's like, what, 6 letters? But Balrog sounds imitating for a monster, in my opinion. Because what is a Balrog? And it's a fucking demon monster.
Winterhold's glory days may lie behind it, but the college lives on.
That's what I loved about the Lord of the Rings movies. It's my favorite fantasy movie, and there's a reason for it. I mean, I guess because I'm a kid and I'm impressionable, but even then, it's like going back and watching it. By the way, I had watched it on YouTube at a very, like, not cheap quality, but like, you know, you could tell someone burnt this off with, like, the collector's edition for Lord of the Rings, and it's fucking uploaded the shit to YouTube. But I watched it, and I remember, oh man, now I know why I like this movie.
Oh no, that movie's gonna stand the test of time. I guarantee that.
If it doesn't, then those people are actual, like, brain dead people. Because I'm 21 and I enjoy the fuck out of those movies.
Yes.
And if people want to call me a boomer for enjoying the Lord of the Rings, then you know what? Fine. Those people, I'll be fine being called a boomer.
Oh, Lord of the Rings is one of the best fantasy series of all time, I believe.
Here at the pleasure of the Archmage.
Based on what I've saw from that is mentioned from the books, what I've seen in the movies, it's an especially great fantasy series.
Oh yeah,
it does hold that title, and I feel like if people want to write a fantasy series, I'm not saying rip off Lord of the Rings, but take a few notes, especially in my opinion how races are handled. You know, like if you're gonna do dwarves or stuff. I'm not saying have them live in fucking caves like the dwarves in Lord of the Rings. But like if you're gonna write a different type of, you know, human or like different type of race of like, you know, basically I would not subhuman. What would you call it, right? What would you call dwarves? Just, you know, dwarves basically.
Dwarves. Yep.
If you're gonna write another, like, you know, humanoid-based species and stuff. Yeah, that's what. Like, you know,
yeah, in this game I'm playing right here, Skyrim, they call them Dwemer.
While technically in charge of the college,
Dwemer.
Archmage's responsibilities often keep him occupied. Thus, I run the day-to-day.
Like if you're gonna have another humanoid-based species, it's like don't make them similar where it's like, oh, they're just shorter humans. It's like, no, you gotta like
right.
They gotta be.
That's
different.
fucked up, you know.
We don't anticipate any.
It's like no, they gotta have like their own type of culture to some degree, or like their own like, you know, thing that separates them from like humans. Like, you know, for elves, for example, elves are very popular for the fact that like they just live for incredibly long, and there's not a lot of little mini elves running around because they live for so fucking long and they don't want to have any kids because they live forever. Or just really long.
And will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college.
Like, but if you're gonna write like a different humanoid species, they gotta be they gotta have some different. They gotta have like their living habits gotta be different from like the typical human. Like I'm trying to write another humanoid species. Well, not right, but I'm trying to implicate another humanoid species in my game. It's like I forgot what they're called. They're called the Fiery or something. They're basically like people who are blessed with wings of a dragonfly, but like they were cursed. So like they have like larger eyes than normal, and they have, you know, dragonfly wings, but their lifespan is about like slightly shorter than humans. So like how an how a human can live up to 100 years, these fiery can only live up to like 65 or 80 or something, and they age faster because of that.
But it was not left untouched.
Right. Well,
no one is sure of the
and their culture is they worship like insects that have the ability to fly, basically, mainly dragonflies, for example.
I know there are some who have blamed the college, said that we were responsible. I assure you this is not the case.
And the character that is part of the fiery group, Morgana, their weapons are basically like magically enchanted. Well, not magically enchanted, but like their weapons are actual magic.
right.
What I have explained is that because they have larger than normal eyes and they're blessed with like, dragonfly wings and such, and they're kind of part dragonfly, I guess, is that they can actually just like see a different being of weapon. They essentially can create their own weapons, just based because they have larger eyes, and they're more magically adept in some ways. But because of that, they're also frailer, so like their bones are slightly weaker than humans. And
Last
they're
cannon?
also like, yes, slimmer in frame. So that's why a lot of the Morgana's weapons are gonna be like magic only for a lot of the time. Like her starting weapon is called the Phase Dagger, which is it does physical damage, but it's like it does like magic physical damage. If that were to make sense. And I think that's the only time I think I've ever attempted to put any effort into another species, another humanoid species.
Building another humanoid species can be difficult.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you gotta remember is that, okay, look. So, for a rich humanoid species, you need a specific look, right? A specific religion.
Have large eyes.
Right.
They all worship insects, mainly dragonflies.
Okay. And a specific, at least one specific ritual that they have to do.
Every time, I haven't wrote that down, but I think every time they have the coming of age, or they become of age, which Morgana just has recently. They have to like fight the Mega Fly, which is like a giant dragonfly, basically. And that'll be a side quest that your character can do because they're still coming of age.
Right.
The ritual doesn't say they can do it, that they have to do it alone. Is that they have to kill a Mega Fly to become, a true fiery.
And for if you want to put some ha-has in there, you can make something ridiculous be offensive to their people, like waving or something.
I actually have that too. I have that written down. One of the ridiculous things they hate is that if you make fun of their wings, they'll fucking bitch slap you with their wings. They don't like their wings being insulted. They're heavily like they see humans without wings. They see humans that don't have these these cool dragonfly wings as not lesser beings, but they pity humans because they don't have wings and they can fly. And then I have another character. Well, he's a different race. He essentially is sealed in armor. He died long ago, and as a last-ditch effort, his wife sealed his soul into a thing of armor. So, well, he does look like he does look like a normal person, right? He looks like he has skin. But once you take off the helmet, it's just like nothing's there. So he has the form of when he died at the exact moment, but once you start taking off his armor, it's like, no, it's just a hollow shell. I mean, and he still has all his emotions and stuff. He's still a human. It's just he's stuck in a suit of armor, and he's in a perpetual state of like just he's like he's possessed armor basically. But it was an advanced ritual, so at the cost his wife died.
Like on Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, that's where the inspiration is. But instead of losing an arm, she just died straight up. So, he's basically stuck to the armor. Now, unlike Full Metal Alchemist, it's a seal. There is no seal that keeps him attached to it. He is permanently attached to that armor, and the armor will just slowly regenerate when it's damaged. It's like Deadpool, but like if Deadpool was attached to his suit, and if his suit got damaged, it just regenerate. No, he still has the strength of a human and stuff. It's just like it looks like he's human and stuff. He still has the strength of when he died at that exact moment. But if you just start taking off his armor, for example, it will reveal that dude's just fucking stuck as armor. And there's gonna be a side quest where you can get him unstuck from the armor, right, and reveal his true form where he's free. And I'm also gonna throw in some like sneaky plot points where like, oh, he actually lost some of his memory too, because let me spoil it for you, because like basically when his wife died was fucking 2,000 years ago, and over the time
that bitch
he's been losing his memories because it's just he's been wandering and at some point he just got he fell down somewhere and he was like scattered so much to the point where like, because once you take off a piece, right, it's separate to itself, but it's still attached to him in a way. So like if you literally just take off his legs while he wasn't paying attention, you'd basically just cripple him, or he couldn't fight back. And at some point he fell off a cliff, and it ended in a disaster where his leggings came off, his like gauntlets and arms came off, so did his head. So for like 500 plus years, he was actually no. It was only recently that a girl and her dad discovered him and put him back together, and because they put him back together, he swore protection to this family. And plot twist, they had a kid. Him and his wife had a kid, and that kid had kids of their own. And he's basically protecting like his great like granddaughter and like great. It's just. It's revealed much later on, though, when you free him and he gains back all his memories. It's just his memories slowly unravel and come back to him. Because, I mean, wouldn't you forget shit if you were like a suit of armor, basically, and like you were just stuck somewhere for so many years? You would probably forget a lot of shit, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'd basically just be stuck in a perpetual state of just looking up, or looking at whatever you're looking at. It'd probably be like days for you. It'd probably be like centuries for like the outside world, because you wouldn't pay attention to anything else. So yeah, I like where I'm taking Durhan with that. And then in terms of plots for other characters, I haven't thought much of it. I know you're included. My friend John, his cousin Johnny, which I'm friends with, and Jessica are going to be a wandering band of mercenaries. And then that's how the main character, Cowan, recruits you. Because then he fights you guys. And this is where the plot, well, not the plot, but if Cowan if your party loses to you guys, then he doesn't recruit you, and you guys don't join his party, and you lose out on 4 characters basically. You can get him back again at some point by fighting him in the arena, but basically you only have 2 choices to get him back. You have 2 chances to get him back. To get your 4 characters that you missed out on the first time. See, I have like this shit written down on like the notepad on my phone. I'm actually gonna add some of the stuff that we recommend for a different humanoid race that you said. That'd be great, Dad. The ritual thing. Because when the game starts, it's like I just kind of throw you in, is what I'm going for. I'm like, oh, why does this party member have wings? Why does this one girl look like someone that would be like wanting to stab me in the back? That's like, all these things will be answered as soon as you step out into the overworld. It's like, how I'm doing it is like how the original Final Fantasy 1 did it. You're just kind of thrust in with your character is not having no backstory, but at the same time I'm trying to add some backstory. I mean, it's going to be hard to write some type of story for 20 characters, and of course some characters are going to get more like backstory love than others, of course, depending how I, want to write them and stuff, but depending, because I already know where I'm going with some characters. And that's why I started this project when the next year came around. We're still in January. I literally have 11 months to finish this project. Because I set the date for 2021. And that could be 2021 in a couple months when this game comes out. Or literally when fucking December hits. It's like, I just put 2021 to like announce this game, hey, it's a thing and I'm working on it. I don't know if that's a good thing to do, Uncle, but I did it. Hey, what do you think of it, Uncle? You think I'm approaching it in the right way?
Yeah. I mean, should be interesting. I'm willing to check it out.
And, like, originally, this game was designed for a streamer. And Morgana, which is one of this dude's Twitch mods, is called Morgana Bug. And she has like an interest in, like, ladybugs and stuff. So that's why I gave her wings, her character wings specifically originally. And it's like, you know what, why don't I just fucking make it, like, give this actual reason on why this character has wings. Why this fucking motherfucker here is stuck in a suit of armor or something. Or stuck as a suit of armor. It's like, it's like, I thought of the characters first, I'm like, let's make a backstory around that. And like, the main character isn't actually like, super important. Literally, the main character is what makes these bands of random whatnots. Because basically, like, Cowan was just a dude who got knighted really recently. That's the backstory for Cowan for mostly. He's a boy from the farm, and he wanted to become a knight, so he went and did become a knight. Right? He's very basic, but Cowan is what kickstarts all these dominoes of recruiting like 9. Well, actually, him and Morgana do have backstory past, but Cowan is what kickstarts all this from recruiting 18 other people, and them ultimately saving the day. That's why in the trailer, one man and his friends will save the universe, or save the center of the universe. Because one man kickstarted this, accidentally kickstarted, by the way. That's the thing. It wasn't fate. Because it's like, oh, it's like, no, it was fate. No, it was accidental. It's never meant to happen. It was just a knight being friendly to a couple people, like, hey, you want to come with me and save the world, and then going, why not? Some of them wanting, like, no, if I'm gonna come with you, you actually have to fight us to prove that you're actually, we are worthy of joining you. And some characters are like, hey, you know what? If we play rock paper scissors, and if you win, then I'll join you. Yes, that's gonna be an actual thing. If you lose rock paper scissors, the character won't join you ever. Like, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's like this character. It's just a random, newly knight that just was friendly to people and be like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come with me? I'll save the universe. It's not chosen by fate, because honestly, at some point, I'm gonna reveal that fate never wanted this to happen. You know why all these bad guys are emerging? Because fate wants this to stop. Because fate wants evil to continue. Because then someone else who is actually destined by fate is going to save us. It's just this hero came a bit too early in fate's eyes, and fate wanted to stop it. So you're very accidental in terms of fate. That's the funny part. But it's like that's like the twist I'm kind of going for. It's like fate never wanted this to happen. This is all just fucking a spiral of dominoes that went out of control, but in a good way. And I like when stories do that. To some degree, it's like, no, this character wasn't picked by fate or anything. It was this character that accidentally started this entire cascade that eventually led to him becoming the hero. But, I mean, the Chosen One stories, if they're done very well, are very good. But you know what I'm saying, Uncle?
Uh-huh.
Well, I like when characters that become the hero aren't chosen by fate. It's when they earn the title of hero, not when it's handed to them by some otherworldly entity or whatever.
Huh?
I like when stories do that, or do that. I like when stories do it, because I don't know, I just enjoy it more than the Chosen One stories. I don't know if I'm weird for liking that type of, storytelling when it comes to why this person is the hero of the story.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, of course. But I prefer the nobody gets swept up in a fucking thing much bigger than him and has to freaking do major upgrade to save the day. They have to learn the Force or freaking.
They have hidden potential that they can unlock.
Be special, or learn to be special somehow.
They become special in their own way.
Because if you're chosen, then it's all preordained. Like, the person who chose you obviously knew what was going to happen when they chose you.
Alright, so before your own path and become the chosen one.
You know,
like that.
Like, yeah. Well, okay, so let's say you're the chosen one. Alright. But if you are the chosen one, then that realization should only come late in the game.
Not early on.
Yeah.
There's a game I played. I think it was Divinity or no, it was something else. It was like a game. I know this was a game I played, but basically, like it's why I like when. That's why I go with the idea. It's like you weren't chosen to be like the chosen one. You took the role because you set off a cascade of like dominoes that led to you being the chosen one.
How can I serve you, my Thane?
And in this specific game I'm talking about, Fate already had other plans for another hero that was supposed to be born later down the road that would save us. But you took that role because you just kind of got tired of shit being shit. So Fate and its weirdness tried to stop you from being the chosen one. By basically assisting the very people they wanted to stop. Which that was pretty weird. It's like, this guy is becoming your chosen one and you want him dead. Use the Force, Luke. I don't know how to use the Force. Weird talking voice man. Well, do it anyways, dumbass.
Right. Yo. How does this laser sword work? Oh, right through the eye. Damn it. I'm gonna have a fun time explaining this one, though, fucking Yoda. Told you so, I did. $5 you owe me. Five
Jedi space bucks you owe, or not? No, not Jedi space. Jedi space ghost bucks you owe me. You do. And he hands him just a fucking crumpled up 5 ghost space bucks.
That's funny.
Maybe 80 minutes.
That's the craziest little Muppet I ever saw. Ooh.
I hate that, like, you know, this game isn't included on the PlayStation 4 store. Because they could totally get the fucking rights for this game. I mean, of course you would have to, like, you know, if you were gonna stream this game, you'd have to mute the game audio, or the music audio or something. Because, you know, fucking Lord of the Rings music is copyrighted to all hell.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I will give credit to this game too. A lot of the battle themes in this game is literally just ripped Lord of the Rings music. Like I mean, it would be nice to have a unique track for this game, But I like how a lot of the tracks they use for the battle themes in this game still give you like that, you know, epic battle that you're having in this random encounter.
Right.
The Lord of the Rings music was still pretty good. Still pretty good.
Oh, I loved it. They did a great job through the movies. Honestly, you know, despite what got left out, they still handed one of the best fucking movie or book to movie adaptations I've ever seen.
Great movie soundtrack, great like movie.
Everything was great. The soundtrack was as epic as it should have been for the story, you know. But you know, you fucking John Williams, you know what I'm saying? You want a good soundtrack, that's who you got turned to, man. John motherfucking Williams. I mean, he did so many great fucking soundtracks. John Williams did Star Wars, Superman, Back to the Future, fucking, jeez, just about every crazy soundtrack you can think of from back in the day. And it's oh fuck, I almost died.
You know when you emulate games, right? It's like there's always those weird emulation glitch issues you have. And I like how the emulation glitch for Lord of the Rings is when you do attacks that have effects, it literally takes up the entire screen, like the color of that effect. For example, like when they do like a red glowy attack, it takes up the whole fucking screen. Whereas it doesn't do that in like the actual game. But you know, emulation glitch issues are gonna, you know, be emulation glitch issues. You can still emulate a lot of games, you know, pretty good. Especially nowadays, we're getting to the point where you can emulate a lot of games pretty good down to the actual hardware. But of course, there's always going to be, you know, emulation issues. You can't be 100% perfect with that shit. Not yet, at least, with where we are right now. Especially, like, very old games, like pre-PlayStation 2 or something, or not pre-PlayStation 2, but like, PlayStation 1. Like, those games run fucking very smooth. Like, they actually do run on a console. Or like they would run on a console. It's taken a while to the point where PS1, I think, is already at that point. PS2 isn't. GameCube is at that point, because we got the Dolphin emulator. Very good. I actually tried it. I played Gauntlet Dark Legacy on that, and I had no issues whatsoever playing that on Dolphin emulator. I don't know any notable Xbox emulators. N64 is pretty buggy at the moment. You can't play Gauntlet Legends on that because, Gauntlet Legends does not like to run on N64 emulators, apparently. Apparently, there's like... it's the way apparently the game is coded, for example. This is why games have a tough time emulating Gauntlet Legends. It's one of the few N64 games that actively is unplayable, just the way it's coded. Yeah, it has something to do with a couple lines of code in the game that like determine like the HUD and all this shit. Like how they make the HUD for like for your characters and stuff. Because Gauntlet Legends is a 4-player game. But basically, the code that defines the HUD, it gets fucked up so bad when you run it through an emulator that it just makes the game unplayable. And that's really unfortunate, because I love Gauntlet Legends. I love Gauntlets in general. That's another series that needs to make a good Valiant return. I'm not saying Gauntlet 2016 was bad, because we did play it, Uncle, and I enjoyed my time playing that.
I want to play a VR Gauntlet.
Ooh, now that'd be great. I honestly would love to see that. Because VR is so fun. I've seen your VR streams. It looks so fun to play.
Oh god, it is great.
I imagine playing as a
great.
wizard in VR, right? And your main attacks are like, just like, you know, if you have like your palm open or whatever that is for having your palm open on like your VR, right? You shoot like lightning and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's like first person and everything, so hordes are coming at you. So you feel like the characters in that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially if you're like the warrior, for example, you're like cleaving through like monsters with your like axe and shit.
I died.
And then like you hear like, and then you hear like the original announcer say, "Warrior needs food badly," or "Yellow Wizard needs food badly." Yellow Wizard shot the food. I miss old video games. I'm not saying that newer video games are bad. Like Risk of Rain 2 is a perfect example of a new video game that is actually fun to play. You know what I'm saying, Uncle?
Yeah.
But it's just that's an indie game, anyways. It's made by an indie game company, and indie devs usually know what the fuck is up when they're making games. Because most indie devs literally play video games themselves. Most indie devs are gamers themselves. And when someone who is a gamer actually tries to make a game, they try to put the best bits they played in previous games and stuff into a video game. It may not translate well, it may translate good. Risk of Rain 2 definitely. And you know what the funny part is? I actually played Risk of Rain 1 and I hated that. Mainly because so the problem was your character was very small and the view you had was so fucking huge. It just it was 2D and stuff. It was pixel based, and I didn't hate the pixel art. I thought it looked good for a pixel game, right? But it was just your character was so tiny, and everything else was like so kind of biggish. But Risk of Rain 2, when it jumped to 3D, I feel like it actually made me interested. Because the problem with 2D games is that I feel like I'm somewhat restrictive when it comes to this stuff. Whereas in 3D, I feel like it's way more open. And people who apparently played the first Risk of Rain agree that Risk of Rain 2 captures the feeling of the original. Like it gives you, even though it's in 3D, you know, when you got this zoomed out appearance, you're more zoomed in on your character. It still feels like a big ass world. The monsters are still pretty imitating. Like, have you seen, like, you know, some of the bosses we fought, right? Some of those fuckers are huge. Like
oh
that
god, you gotta understand
example,
when you're playing virtual reality, Jimmy, that it's not just bigger because you look up and you see it. There's depth to everything because you got what's called stereoscopic view. That means it's just as 3D as the freaking real D3D that you go to the theaters to see, even more so in fact. You could tell this is 5 feet in front of you and that is 8 feet in front of you, even though they both look like they're the same size on a flat screen.
That's what we're heading towards in terms of games. We're gonna get fucking VR games and shit. We're gonna get to a point where some people are be like, okay, just put on the VR headset and you can use like a controller, a keyboard, or something like that. And people are like, oh no, VR games aren't that great. It's like, well, then you probably don't have a VR and you probably haven't actually seen good VR games. I don't have a VR, and I've seen some pretty gosh darn good.
Well, I started watching this guy called Josh Dubs because he was funny as fuck, and I wanted to look at virtual reality games because I had this like VR set, right? It was for a cell phone, right? And well, they had these side-by-side videos, right? That's when I started looking it up, you know, like, oh, VR this, you know, VR that, because they have side-by-side videos that you could watch in 3D stereoscopy. Well, some of them were these VR videos, so I was watching the gameplay videos, and I was like, oh, that's fucking neat, you know. Well, when I was 21, I went to it was Lake Tahoe, right? This casino in Lake Tahoe, and they had a virtual reality machine, and it was huge. I mean, the whole machine was like, it was like standing in a transporter on Star Trek, right? And the headset was hooked to a giant cable that went to the fucking thing, right? And you had to stand in this circle, and it was really neat, but the frame rate was so absolutely terrible, right? That it was really bad. It was really bad. But it was also really incredible. You know, and I don't know if you've ever seen The Lawnmower Man, but back in the day there was this movie called The Lawnmower Man, which showed off what VR could actually do, and then went all sci-fi with it, and then showed off some shit that VR cannot do. And it's one of the main reasons why people still believe today that VR affects your brain. Affects your brain waves. The truth is, it's just a fun way to play, but it can affect your stomach.
Motion sickness.
Yeah, some games give me the motion sickness bad. Like, there was this one called Star Blood Arena that almost made me barf.
Does Walking Dead Saints and Sinners do that?
No. It don't. But I because I wanted to stream, I made myself get used to moving and turning naturally. So at first it kind of messed with my stomach a little bit, but I got used to it. And now that's the only way I play. But it's like, think of it like getting your sea legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something you have to get used to. But once you're used to it, it's no problem. Oh no. Damn it, wrong button. I'll never forget how to fucking aim this shit right. I wish there was a damn. Come on.
You know, Uncle, if you did actually download Bit Heroes, you would have your heart. I would basically be carrying your character for a lot of the dungeons. Because my character, you know, he isn't like the characters I'm friends with, right? Where one of the guys who's highest level, my highest level, you know, character, or not character I have, but person I'm friends with whose character is level 320 has like 3,732 attack, 2,817 health, and 2,622 speed. Compared to my character who is level 142. If the game will pull up my character, because this game runs kind of slowly on my phone sometimes. My phone is pretty old. Compared to my level 142 character, who has 605 attack, 526 health, and 287 speed. But I'd still be carrying your butt, Uncle, for quite a while. I'd basically be your tank. So, I remember playing this game called Lord of the Rings Conquest. It was kind of like how back in the day when people made Star Wars Battlefront 2, it was in the same kind of idea.
Yes, I remember that one.
Capture them.
I was so happy. I finally, I had it my queue on GameFly, and I finally got it. And I installed it, put it in, and the the servers had been shut down, and they couldn't even let you play single player once the servers were shut down.
No, you can still play single player. Lord of the Rings Conquest.
It wouldn't let me.
I remember, one of the cheese strats you could pull in that game for the single player was play as the thief, because the thief could go invisible, right? Sneak up behind someone and you can form like a backstab. And the backstab would one-shot humanoid characters, including the bosses. I remember like fighting them as like the warrior, right, with the sword, and be like, fuck this shit. And switching to the thief, going invisible inside the boss room, going behind the bosses and fucking whoosh, whoosh, and it'd be like a one-shot kill. It was so funny. The thief in that game was incredibly broken, because if you were really smart about it, you could just be invisible, wait for someone to come around the corner, backstab their ass, and then just go back to being invisible. And I remember the only time I was able to play multiplayer with a full lobby was like the funniest shit ever. Because literally half my team was thieves and they do that shit.
Yeah, by the time I got it, they'd shut down the servers.
One time I got to play multiplayer was a treasure.
And the only single player mode was a damn tutorial, I think. Or it was really short, one or the other.
I've got your back. I am sworn to carry you.
I like how that game's canon plot was you actually was you being evil, right? And you actually destroying everything as the bad guy. Literally, the final level was you go into the Hobbit's home, and the fire, and you point as the Balrog and fucking Gandalf the White up.
Oh wow!
You beating Gandalf the White was like life. Gandalf the White was the final battle in that game story mode. And the reason I justified you for winning is basically the good campaign ended with you getting or you warding off like the bad guys at like you know, what is it, Mordor or something, you know, like how in the movie. And then it ends and it explains that Frodo has gotten into like Mordor and he's gonna throw the One Ring in like, you know, the lava. And the evil campaign starts with you playing a Nazgul hunting down Frodo. And you basically fucking murder Frodo as a Nazgul. And stop him from getting rid of the One Ring.
Nice.
And that's where the evil campaign starts to, you know, roll down, because then you start doing evil bad guy shit. And I like that. I love when games don't actually atone to the actual plot and kind of do their own thing, and I love that. Because you literally just played a Nazgul and murdered the fuck out of Frodo.
Oh yeah.
The problem was that Frodo was considered a thief class, and I remember one time playing on the hardest difficulty was just walking in there to fucking fight Frodo, and the AI was smart enough to go invisible, sneak up behind me, and fucking backstab my ass. he pulled on me and backstabbed my ass. That was the funniest shit ever because it was my last life too, so I had to restart the entire first level of the evil chapter. Lord of the Rings Conquest was pretty fun though to play. The story mode. It was short, you were right, it was short, but it was fun to play. Funny enough, fun fact in Halo Reach, some mad lad decided to put the Miras Tirith. It was like when Frodo shows up, right, and the Nazgul are chasing him, and like people are having like a fight out in like this town and crap, right? And you know he gets persuaded by which guy was it was like someone riding on like a giant lizard dragon, and he's persuading Frodo to come to him. What was his name? That was Sauron, right?
Yeah. Wait, no, riding on a giant lizard dragon, that would be the Nazgul.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't a Nazgul. It was like he had like a helmet and everything.
It might have been, I guess. Can't remember.
Okay, but but someone the basically that the multiplayer map for that part of the game, or that's part of the story in Lord of the Rings Conquest, someone recreated that in a Halo as a Halo Reach invasion map.
Huh. So
a Lord of the Rings map, a multiplayer map, is in Halo Reach. I thought it was really cool. That's also cool. An interesting fun fact, because I played on that map with like a bunch of other people, and people start shitting on it. It's like, oh, why does everyone have swords and hammers? It's like, I know what this is referencing. It's referencing Lord of the Rings Conquest.
I found me a dragon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, although he just disappeared, and then I got all dizzy looking for him. He's invisible.
It's also a problem, speaking of Lord of the Rings Third Age. The problem was that when you got Morrowind, the fact that she was underleveled and also the weakest character in game in terms of HP and defense wise, just makes you not want to use her. Because some of the skills she has are really cool, like she'll like just basically steal HP as one of her skills. So like she'll just drain your HP and the amount that she drains will be restored as health.
Well, shit. Alright, I'm gonna have to drop some shit. Got some unexpected dragon scales. Never get rid of your dragon scales. I know they're worth a lot of money, but never get rid of them.
They're just incredibly heavy.
They are incredibly heavy. But if you got dragon scales, and you can make yourself a full dragon scale set. If you have enough dragon scales by the time you get it.
Isn't that like the best armor in the game too?
Yes, and the best weapons. Dragon scale axes. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Power, dual wield that shit.
Yeah. I had two dragon bone axes. I had two dragon bone axes in the last time I played this game.
Great axe?
When I was playing it all two-dimensional.
Was it? Is there dragon bone great axes? Like you can two-hand a dragon bone axe?
Not sure if I remember I made two dragon bone axes. I put Polaris on both of them. I called one death and the other destruction.
What does Polaris do?
Huh?
What does Polaris do?
Polaris makes them freeze up and fall over.
Oh, basically Frost, right?
No, Frost don't do that.
Oh, you mean paralysis?
Paralysis is what I said.
You said paralysis.
Paralysis.
Hey, paralysis. Not. You're saying paralysis. Paralysis.
Paralysis.
There you go.
Paralyzes. And isn't there a chest around here somewhere too? I learned a new shout, I guess, huh? Oh, go to my shouts. Shouts. Ice form. Your Thum freezes in a point is solid. Yes. Okay.
What do you need? Still here. I am at your command.
You are sworn to carry my burdens.
So I'm in the process right now, Uncle, of getting a legendary monster in this game, or a legendary monster fusion, and I need two. I can't make it right now, but I'm choosing not to because it takes away one specific monster that I use as like my front tank for PvP. Alright.
Alright, good night, bud. What time is it? Oh, fuck, it is 1:30 in the morning.
I'd get rid of my front tank, and I don't want to get rid of him right now. So I'm trying to farm up the 2 monsters I used to get him as a fusion. And once I do that, I'm going to fuse and get the legendary monster. Because it's a combination of a bunch of other epic monsters. And it'll be my first legendary fusion, and it's very powerful.
Okay.
What time is it actually?
1:33.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go to sleep.
Alright, buddy.
We'll actually play some games together tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get that game
kill
beat.
The boss. Yeah, we'll kill that boss for you.
And then fucking leave. Oh, I killed that damn boss. Killed him by myself, but I didn't know I was supposed to leave. So, and I didn't have all goat leg, right? So I wandered down into the middle of the arena before I realized I was supposed to be leaving. I thought, oh, maybe there was like a portal or something, but there wasn't. Then I fucking turn around and I see the quest marker. I'm like, oh, well, shit. That's the only time in the game. Okay, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll get him beat tomorrow and actually escape.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
like
that sounds good.
I love playing speed boys, so it won't be no problem tomorrow.
Damn, Dragon Bones gotta weigh so much. There's 45 right there.
Bones.
Huh?
There are Dragon Bones.
Yeah.
Alright, love you, Uncle.
Alright, love you too, Jimmy.
We'll play tomorrow. We'll actually beat the game. And then at some point we'll fight the secret boss. Because apparently he's really tough, so we're gonna have to do a loop or two to actually get some good gear on him. Beat him.
Which that I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying? Under normal circumstances, it was just too late last time, man. Phew.
Yeah. And I don't know how to get to him, so I'll do like some YouTube research on it like tomorrow. Or today actually, because it is 1 AM.
Yeah.
But I'll see you later, Uncle. Love you.
Alright. Love you too, bud. Talk to you later.
Later. Okay, that happened.
What happened?
The YouTube app crashed.
Oh shit.
I didn't even get to leave the party. What the fuck happened? I don't even know what the actual shit happened. Literally, I paused the video and everything, and it's like black screen. And it says, an error has occurred with this application. I'm like, what fucking happened? I paused the video. Oh, whatever. Alright, Uncle.
Alright. Later.
Later.
Okay, this can go. This can go. 316. That's a lot. 50.
I'm right behind you. How can I serve you, my thane? You lead, I'll follow.
Sure.
You scratch my back.
Let's see, where am I? All right. Welcome, baby. No, I'm streaming, but I'm not streaming voices. Just game stuff. Oh. Oh, they were just drunk. Oh, because Jimmy was in the middle of a Fortnite match, and Tara kept trying to rip the paddle away from him, screaming about how she wanted to talk to me. I guess they're gonna move the trailer to a different spot, right there in the same trailer park. And she had a grandchild through her daughter, I guess. I know. Yeah.
Azura has seen your coming, traveler. It was not curiosity, but fate that has led you here. Azura has given me the gift of foresight. I had a vision of you walking up the steps to this altar long before you were born. You have been chosen to be her champion. I know it is unexpected, but do not worry. It will all unfold as she has predicted. You must go to a fortress, endangered by water, yet untouched by it. Inside, you will find an elven mage who can turn the brightest star as black as night. It is cryptic, I know, but Azura's signs are never wrong. I believe the fortress may refer to Winterhold. Ask if they know this elven enchanter. She is the goddess of dawn and dusk. Azura sees into the twilight of the future and guides her followers through it. Yes, there were others at first, but Azura's visions tested everyone's faith. One by one, they left, afraid to know the old future. But I refuse to abandon the shrine. The visions are a gift. Azura warns me of tragedy, war, death, before it happens. I won't leave her guidance. My people, the Dunmer, built it. We fled from Morrowind after Vardenfell erupted, almost 200 years ago. Those of us who were faithful to Azura were given a vision that led us away from the island before the worst came. This shrine is our thanks to her, that none will forget that she watches over us all. This has all been foreseen, and we must play our parts.
Need a ride?
Where do you want to go? Climb and back, and we'll be off.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see. A letter. Not sure who from. He wouldn't say, just that he was a friend of yours. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
I can't wait here. Trevor. First time in Solitude? Beautiful old city. Capital of Skyrim. I'm sure you'll...
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika. If not, just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rodvir.
Tell them he didn't do it.
Position.
Sorry, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
Traitor! You betrayed us!
On with it!
You should tell her that her uncle is a scum who betrayed his High King. Best she know now, Advar.
All hard.
Rogver, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrik. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude.
He doesn't deserve to speak! There was no murder. Lying story. He beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all lords.
On this day, I go to Sovngarde.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, I
It shouldn't have been like this.
Not right now.
Damn shame, Rogver. You're a good man.
A man opens a gate and they cut his head off? Doesn't seem right to me.
You wouldn't be a sellsword, would you? I have a little problem you could solve. I may have accidentally let a prisoner escape, the leader of one of those bandit groups. I told everyone he died during questioning, and I need you to track him down and make sure he doesn't show up to disprove that.
Good. I'll have a sack of coin waiting for you when you get back. I'm the headsman here in Solitude. It's my job. Depends on what you mean by busy. I'm also the head jailer in the dungeon here. Quiet job, usually. Ain't got one, but I'd fancy a chance at that Jari Ra's scrawny neck. Filthy Argonia never would have set foot in this city if High King Torek was still alive. I can tell you that. Remember, I need that bandit dead, not alive. You stay out of trouble now. The Castle Dower dungeon is strong.
Spare some gold for a veteran? Can you spare a septum? Lost enough? Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart. I was the finest scout in the Legion once. Tracked down all the places in the wilds that were causing people trouble.
How do you feel? I think you might be sick. Sorry, I was lost in thought. I'm planning my wedding, you see. So many details to work out.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back and we'll be off. It's almost getting downright hot now. I can take you to...
curse. It has to be. I've got to get out of this town.
Irgnir, get a hold of yourself. They're just dreams. Please tell her, Erandur.
Listen to your friend. They are just dreams, my dear. I assure you that it is quite normal.
It's the same dream over and over again. You think that's normal? It's evil, I tell you.
Erandur, she has a point. You keep telling us no harm will follow these dreams, but they must be an omen.
Give him a chance to speak. He's trying to help us.
Everyone, please. I'm doing what I can to end these nightmares. In the meantime, all I ask is you remain strong and put your trust in Lady Mara.
I will. Thank you.
Don't
I
take
work
this
in the
wrong
mine
way,
just like everyone
but you
else.
look a little sickly. I envy you, travelers. Dreams aren't affecting anyone not from here. Sure, what can I do for you? Yes. Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes with a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. We believe the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed, and the legend yet grows. You'll know the Dragonborns come.
Need a room? Don't worry. Nightmares don't seem to happen for travelers. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Are you joking? You just rented a room for me. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
What troubles you, my son?
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
I envy you, travelers. Dreams aren't affecting anyone not from here. Sure, what can I do for you? Ah, a fine but bloody tale. I can do that one. This is a local favorite, and one of the first songs I ever learned. Ragnar the Red.
Need something? The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, and I'm afraid there's little I can do about it.
And the braggart did
Safe
swagger
travel.
and brandish his blade as he told of bold battles and gold he had made.
Yes, sirrah.
Did Ragnar the Red when he met the shield maiden.
The entire town is being plagued by horrible nightmares. They're in serious danger, and I'm afraid there's little I can do about it.
And so then came clashing and slashing of steel as the brave last Matilda charged in full of zeal.
These dreams are manifestations created by the Daedric Lord, Vermina. She has an awful hunger for our memories. In return, she leaves behind nightmares. Not unlike a cough marks a serious illness. I must end her terrible influence over these people before the damage becomes permanent. I need to return to the source of the problem, to Nightcaller Temple. Perhaps you'd be willing to assist me in that regard. I've already said too much. If anyone overhears what we're saying, it could start a panic. I would simply ask that you trust me and help me end Dawnstar's nightmares. Your concerns are understandable. Trust is a very difficult commodity to come by these days. I can only give you my word as a priest of Mara then my intentions are honorable. Wonderful. My Lady Mara will be quite pleased. Nightcaller Temple is only a short walk from Dawnstar. Come, we must hurry. Vermina resides in a strange realm known as Quagmire, a nightmarish land where reality shifts upon itself in seemingly impossible ways. From her citadel at the center, she reaches forth to collect our memories, leaving nothing in return apart from visions of horror and despair. Who can say? Perhaps she collects them for display like works of art in a nonsensical art gallery. Whatever the case may be, her intentions are far from benevolent. I promise to answer all of your questions. Follow me.
You don't look so good. Are you feeling all right?
The Wind Peak Inn features the finest bard in all of Dawnstar. Me.
Need something?
Follow me. It's this way. It feels good to finally have a chance to help these people. Helplessly watching them suffer has been difficult. The tower on that hill is our destination. People around here call it the Tower of Dawn. I'm not familiar with the tower's history, but it was deserted for quite a long time before Nightcaller Temple was established inside. When the temple was active, the priest would... Yes, my son. The temple's been abandoned for decades now. Ironic, isn't it? A ruin within a ruin. This way, my son.
Divine's sake, Scald. Who do you think we're threatening with our old war wounds? We're not soldiers anymore.
Your man Ulrich is wearing his old Legion armor. What should I make of that?
He's proud of his service, Scald. The Legion taught us loyalty, and we're loyal to Dawnstar.
This isn't over. I catch you sending one letter to General Tullius. I'll have you both executed.
My duty is to guard Brina Merilis.
Before we enter, I must warn you about the dangers that could be lurking within. Years ago, this temple was raided by an orc war party seeking revenge. They were being plagued by nightmares, just like the people of Dawnstar. Knowing they could never defeat the orcs, the priests of Vermina released what they called the Miasma, putting everyone to sleep. I'm concerned that when this place is unsealed, the miasma will dissipate and they'll awaken, both orcs and priests alike. The miasma was created by the priests of Vermina for their rituals. It's a gas that places the affected in a deep sleep. Because the rituals would last for months or even years, the miasma was designed to slow down the aging process. Sadly, yes. The longer an individual is exposed to the miasma, the more the mind can become damaged. Those who've been under the effect of it for extended periods of time have been known to lose their minds entirely. In some cases, a few never awoke at all. Once we get inside, all will become clear.